Hey everybody, I'm Ben Yee.
I'm Elissa Stein.
And what are we talking about now?
We've been focusing so much on local issues.
Yes,
But
you have recently.
It's going to be January in 3 days.
Shit. Oops.
No, that's good.
I mean, great.
No, that's good because things are going to change.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
Remember
elected all these
election,
people.
That blue wave that
Yes.
actually happened. So people are going to take office.
You know.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a question.
Oh.
People are taking office in the beginning of January, but
Yeah.
with this government shutdown, will there be people to swear them in?
Yeah. So the swearing in is actually done, I believe, normally by the vice president or the speaker of the chamber, the leader of the chamber. So there will be
Okay.
people to swear them in because those folks in a government shutdown continue to get paid.
Right. Okay.
Of course, the elected officials get paid. They wouldn't want to cut their own salaries.
Of course not. But so
They're
that is
essential
what-
personnel, you know.
Right, those congressmen going out to fancy lunches, that's essential. That will hold through with the state as well?
Oh well, the only the federal government is shut down,
Oh,
so
right.
the state government continues to function as normal.
Right, okay. So,
Until we don't have a budget in April.
but the changes are taking place, so state government is fully functioning.
Yeah.
That was a blip on my part. But new people are taking office in January
Yep.
statewide, so Democratic Senate,
Yep.
Democratic House nationally.
Right. So Democratic State Senate. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
State Senate, but National House.
Yes.
So this is thrilling. It's actually really thrilling, and I feel excited to watch politics again because
There's some hope.
there's some hope.
I
How
will say,
fast
what-
can things happen? Like how somebody like they're sworn in, and I'm already hearing like DeVos has 5 things against
Yeah.
her, and what Jerry Nadler is going to do, and people are going to be looking for tax returns and all this stuff. But
Right.
But how long will it take to get these things up and going?
So the investigations and things like that can be done very quickly because that's all unilateral, and it really depends on how quickly the Democrats.
This is nationally.
Nationally. It all depends on how fast the Democrats get their act together, but that can proceed apace. The hard thing is
Good
passing
word.
legislation. Thanks.
You're welcome.
The
I'm sorry. I have a kid who's a senior in high school, and we're in the middle of doing college essays.
Uh-huh.
And so big vocabulary words or effective vocabulary words are something I'm so attuned to at this moment. So Pace was like, ooh.
I like to
nice.
Google synonym and then word, and then I get another word for that word.
Or you can go to thesource.com.
Yes. But regardless, neither here nor there. But the passing of legislation will always be very difficult because you still have a Republican Senate.
Yeah.
I'm actually very happy for the fact that the lame duck Congress, they could have called back the Republicans for a special session and passed a bunch of stuff that would have been impossible to repeal
Right.
because the Democrats wouldn't have had the votes in both chambers. So quite cool that didn't happen.
Okay.
But they won't be able to end the shutdown. And then here in New York State, we're looking at maybe substantive changes to legislation. This will take months. They'll be seated in January, and then there'll be a 6-month session. And by the end of that session, we'll probably have some things come out. But it's definitely going to be several months before anything
so that's so
passes.
interesting. So when we talked about the Senate taking control, Democratic control in the state, and we talked about women's rights and about voter reform
Yeah.
and these major issues, it's not like somebody can say, oh, February, here we are.
Well,
It's
they
really-
could. They could, but you have to go through. So
That's
a
what I
lot.
said, like things have to go to committee.
Correct.
And be, come out of committee and then go to the House floor and then go to
Right.
the Senate. So that stuff
There need
does
to
not
be
happen.
hearings as well.
Right, so anything that happens is gonna be a long,
You can really rush things. And so the committee chairs could be like, well, we're going to put this on the calendar ASAP. And so they can really push things along, and you could have things coming out in maybe 2 months or something.
right,
It's probably unlikely to happen unless something is like a real slam dunk. So I think maybe the Reproductive Health Act, because it's been done so many times,
Right.
and
So
it
pieces
should be
are
so
kind of
obvious.
there.
And it's
Right.
not, it's simple, right? It's simple what needs to happen. There's not a lot of discussion. The, universal health care, for example, that has a lot of complexity to it, and there are a lot of things to nitpick. There's not a lot to nitpick over what's going to happen with reproductive health. That's
Right.
either going to happen or it's not going to happen.
Right.
And they can try and shove that through quickly. But ultimately, a lot of legislation ends up in the budget. And we spoke to James Yates once, who was explaining how that went down, and that was like a 3-hour conversation.
It was so interesting. and so far beyond anything I even began to understand about government and how it works.
And we can go over that
The
closer to
minute
the
room.
budget again.
Right.
But-
And the budget is April?
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of legislation becomes part of the budget when it can't get passed through the legislature.
Right. We've
So-
talked about this before.
Yes.
Right.
So,
So it's tying inappropriate things in just because you can.
because
Or
it
you can
wouldn't
try to
pass
hide.
otherwise.
Right.
Because
so
you
you're
link
adding
it to
into
the budget.
Right.
And then the budget has to get
What a
passed.
mess.
But with
Politics is
the-
so messy, Ben. Politics is really so messy.
Well, with the Democratic state Senate, the idea is you won't need to do that because you won't need to find a way to put leverage on the Republican part of the legislature. But it's still unclear what's going to happen. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But we can look forward to a couple of months of watching before we have
Okay.
real answers.
So basically, the takeaway is, in terms of nationally, the committees can kind of hit the ground running.
Yes.
And I'm sure Democrats have been thinking so longingly about this moment where they can actually do something. So hopefully we'll see something in the beginning, middle of January starting to happen.
Yes.
The state stuff is going to take a little bit longer because these are legislative issues as opposed to just investigative.
Right.
And so we're going to have to just sort of let
There's going to
the
be a process, right?
Okay. Awesome.
But things will start quickly.
But having said that, yay, January 2019. And the blue wave happened because people volunteered and people voted.
That's right.
And
Don't
so
forget to
again,
vote.
voting-
More voting.
February 26th.
That's right,
for the
special election.
public advocate election.
Then there'll be an election probably in September for a primary, then a November 2019 election.
Right.
And we've got public advocate, county committee and district leaders,
Mm-hmm.
if you are in Manhattan, Staten Island. Then there'll be the public advocate general again in 2019. Then 2020, obviously, Congress again
Huge,
and
right,
president.
president.
And then 2021, city elections.
So like take a break if you've been working your butt off the past few months because it's all going to gear up again really fast.
The best part about democracy, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. All right. Next time.
Laters.
Oh wait. See ya.